All right, welcome back. It's I, DrBossKey, and tonight we are doing a comparison of the old DBK DrBossKey designs and the updated DrBossKey with wings. So I think we did our very first, we didn't quite take into completion with the concepts, but we did our first concepts in 2020 at the end of, I think November was when we had that. So why don't we hop over and we'll take a look. Dimitri, we're really getting there. So got a bunch of stuff here. So I'm just going to go through my list. Let's see. All right. I'm just going to take it from the top. Okay. So one of the things I want to try, Dimitri, is with the, I like this kind of cocooning we have, but the back wings are also obscuring a lot of the body. Doesn't necessarily feel bad because we have the weak spot on top. And this may still be the way that we go in the end, but I'd like to see one version with it basically not obscuring in a cocoon the whole body. So I did a very, very crude, like, hey, like what could it possibly look like? Like even if we could, it doesn't quite make sense, but if I was thinking like, maybe cover up the arm here. So something to that effect. You're the artist, you can kick the ass. But yeah, so I was thinking around those lines. So that's one thing there. Next up, on the mid pose, I got DrBossKeys everywhere. I got DrBossKey fever, yo. All right, on the mid pose, I feel like, I think we're good there. Yeah, okay. But for the transition, so the DrBossKey head basically is almost in the same exact spot in between. So we need to pull the chin up just a little bit, squint the eyes, like he's ready. He's like charging forward and doing battle, right? So pull the eyes down just a little bit, raise that chin a little bit more, like he's basically projecting his chin out there. So. Yeah, I think we're good here. And I think we're mostly good here too with his chin tucked. Although I kind of want to have like his chin tucked and maybe don't need the rest of us. And maybe pull his gaze forward just a tiny bit more. Like, I mean, we can keep the head frame there. So that was a little bit there. All right, so coming down here to basically the boots. So we have this strange yellow boot spur thing down here. Take a look at like the boot concepts that we have here. So, and we have the double spur, which is totally fine. But yeah, we don't have anything like that here. So just take a secondary look, because I think when I compare the two. Oh, Dave. Yep. Come on. Push the right buttons. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So when I'm comparing the boots, and I think this will come out here, but right now it's flat, but when we do the rendering, it's just, we're missing some of that detail in how the boot is layering. So, and we have these metal plates that come in, and they layer. So you're close. We're also, I can't quite tell from your version here, but we're missing the back boot kind of guard here. So I think it looks like you sort of did this thing on the back here. So but we have this kind of separation. So anyways, just it's just updating the details in the design there. So and then yeah, I think the keys, yes, we're missing a bit on the key design because we have these kind of like twisted key bits here. Yours are a bit off. So the other thing also applies to currently the belt. So just in terms of detailing, right? Well, this is a triangular belt, or it's a diamond shape belt buckle. It also is, this is supposed to be a keyhole. So just DrBossKey silliness. But yeah, that was one detail there too as well. While we're on the subject of the suit itself, we're missing these bigger hello buttons. I like buttons. Why can't I push all the right buttons tonight? Oh, because I'm on the wrong layer. Give me a layer. There. All right. Yeah. So we have these like, and they're kind of nice. They get these larger bone spurs. So we're kind of missing them from, I think you sort of have the smaller ones here, right? But I think it's either that, so there's basically 4 of them, right? So I think you got the small ones, the ones that wrap around from the other side, but not the bigger ones that are not quite on the shoulders, but yeah. So just a couple details to pull up there. What else we got? Oh, also, since we're on the subject of this, is in our concepts, we had much bigger bone spurs. So I think that we're kind of missing our bone spurs here. They're exaggerated, right? So especially on the back ones. So let's pull those guys out a bit more to flow with the original designs. Otherwise, I thought we were pretty close. Let me double check my notes. All right, boot. Yeah, we talked about the boot design being off a bit, the buckle. Oh, yes. So the other thing that we have here, if we're looking at the crotch area, especially in this concept. So we have this design that kind of frames the, where the legs are around with the torso and the crotch area. And I think in your designs here, we only have this kind of like this hip rider design where we have more fine lining there, and then we're carrying that through underneath. Again, it's part of like sort of the flight suit mentality where we use that kind of concept to pull this in. Some of it too is because you pulled, and because we're darker here, I can't see quite the lining there. So also when you do your coloring, you have this weird like gray, just this gray here. So there's stuff we need to fix up there. Yeah, so there was that. Let's see here. Oh yeah. So coming to take a look at this. So we're missing these meaty holes. And so the suit's not perfect. It's organic. This is all Larkin, right? So I wanted to pull back these meaty holes just a little bit. Yeah, so that would add to that. And meaty holes. Wing bone spurs we talked about. Increased vulnerable spot. Oh yeah. So with this, I mean, let's do a version, Dimitri, where the green glow is bigger. It just needs to be bigger. It doesn't have to be as strong, but I think it really, because the thing is sometimes you can see it in the game. Sometimes the particle, I'm going to still work on it, but the particle doesn't always catch it. And the moment the particles don't always draw, I explained it. And as a result, when the particle isn't there, we need something else that conveys that extra glowiness, because it's the only thing the player has to understand their survival. So there was that. On the right hand. All right. So on the right hand here, especially with the gloves here, we're missing detail. Yeah, so we're missing detail from the fingers, and also the back of the glove design is just it's not the right design. So but I know, at least I saw here, I think you've got it clinched, but even if you got it clinched, I think yeah, so that's the yeah, it's not quite there yet, so no big deal. Also flipping over to here, our poor hands look a little janky. Like just the fingers are a little janky, so I figure you can do a pass on that to make it look correct there. And then also I noted this here, so let's do a version, instead of the arm being up like instead of the arm being up this way, let's pull that arm down, and then kind of down towards here, so we can open up the torso, so he's got the thing there, and that'll also that gives a little bit more visibility to, again, the glowy green spot and all that good stuff. So and I think I already mentioned it at the very start or in the previous video. Let's try doing a version where we open up these wings just a little bit more, just a little bit, just to see. All right. Other than that, I think we're close. I mean, we're super close on the detail side. I'd be fine as long as you pick up these details. We go into rendering. There's a few other things, like we're using a darker shade of blue here on the pants. And And right now our blue shade is not quite that. It's a little bit more on the gray side. So it just gives us a slightly darker offset color. We're going to keep the color darkness and the contrast. I think you're pretty close anyway. So other than that, what else do I got? Okay, yeah, I think those are the main things. All right, thank you. This is super cool. I think we're making some great progress. Everyone else out there has been watching, following along, and providing feedback. This is invaluable. Thank you so much for being part of the project, and we'll see everyone next time. This is coming soon. Bye, everybody.